Hello, coaches. Martin Roca here saying hi to all of you from Girona, Spain. I'm happy to be here presenting my work with little kids, especially in development ages, which is the work that I enjoy the most. We're going to talk about orange ball stage today. Very important phase of the development for the kids. Um, if we talk about what they do in foam ball stages or red ball, sometimes I consider that they are too technical for the kids, and then coaches are focused on teaching the technique, which is a noble idea, I understand. But according to my views, that makes the sessions too slow, too boring sometimes, because if you focus on technique with little kids, they're not able to manage their body correctly and they need to learn a lot about motor skills. Using implements, in our case, in our sport, we use tennis rackets and tennis balls. If they don't know how to handle that, trying to be too technical, it makes the sessions a little bit boring and too slow. I want sessions more dynamic. So, in my opinion, in those two phases, our focus should be on working on the motor skills, letting the kids be able to express themselves using an implement like a tennis racket. And then the main goal should be having the kids be able to rally by themselves. Start with floor tennis, start rallying with no net, eventually moving on to having a net in between and being able to rally. That's when they should be considered themselves as mini players because they're starting to start to play tennis correctly. So moving on to the orange ball stage, the focus should be on, okay, we have the kids rallying, but we have to add some stuff now. We're going to work on footwork. We're going to let them move around the mini tennis court, and then we have to teach them how to do that correctly. According to my views, we have to focus on balance. We have to teach them how to move around forehands or backhands, but always keeping the balance, always trying to control the body and control the movement. So once you get in a good position, you are able to hit a good shot, recover, and then be able to be able to continue the rally. The other key part of this phase is the introduction to proper technique in different shots. For example, I do a lot of work, especially in the warm-ups, with continental grip. The continental grip progressions allow me to have my kids using this grip. Sometimes if they are new in the group, they hold the racket from the top of the grip and then they hit the ball with no net in between. They rally like that. And that allows them to get to know how to use their wrist, how to use the racket with that grip. And eventually, it's easy for me to teach them how to do volleys, how to do overheads, the progressions on serves, and slice. I have a lot of videos that I'm going to show you now, and I'm going to let the videos do the talking. And you'll see the way we do these progressions, the way we work on footwork, and the progressions to introduce new techniques. And you see the kids having fun in dynamic sessions and learning a lot of technique progressively, not rushing the process, because this is the most important thing for me. Going slow, but making sure that every step we take is based on solid ground. They can touch your phone, they can touch the ring, they can touch your partner. Okay? Move. Don't touch it on. Count to 10.
Mettila metti in qua. 3, 4, 5.
As you can see in the videos, all the warm-ups are set up to build team spirit, teamwork, not rewarding only the more skillful kids, and trying to have a dynamic session from the beginning. This is a fun game, but it leads to what I do most with the kids is working on balance, working stability when they move and get ready for the next shot in a good position. Allow yourself to be creative and also enjoy the process. This has to be fun not only for the kids but for the coaches too.
Sandra, atrapa, 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 vamos. Vamos, por ahí. Vamos. Sandra. Vamos, atrapa. Vamos.
This is a very simple exercise for two very important things: ball tracking to find the right position to hit, and ball control. Use all sorts of implements or equipment that you can find in order to get the best out of your players.
Hit the eye, hit the eye. Vamos. Hit the eye. Hit the eye. Vamos. Oh, so good. Ah! Eye. One.
This is one of the drills that I enjoy the most because it's very useful for me. The continuous grip progressions. This allowed the kids to be able to rally in very close range and get used to the grip. With only 4 balls, you can have up to 16 kids playing at the same time. It develops soft touch, good control of the ball, good control of the grip. start seeing more technical stuff, we get more serious about technique, footwork, movement, positioning, balance, ball control. You see all of that in this video.
Go. Go. Back. Forward. Ball to me, not to the ground. Ball to me. Yeah. Move forward.
Now we're going to see a lot of videos of this little kid that I had some years ago. He was 6 at the time, very skillful, and we were trying to work on fundamentals, footwork and movement, positioning, and strokes. But I was trying always to make it fun. I was trying not to do the same procedures, same, the repetition of the same mechanics, same drills, to make it boring. We were trying to variate, be creative, enjoy the process. We were having fun, but as you can see, we were working on the fundamentals of the game: the movement, the recovery steps, crossover steps. It was the first time he was doing this. Obviously, it wasn't that natural doing the movement in the beginning, but eventually he would do it very fast. And you can see we were concerned about the positioning and the ball control, always hitting the ball to me. As coaches, we don't have to be afraid of trying new things, improving the skills of kids by using new equipment and doing something different than only feeding balls to forehands and backhands.
Prepara el saltito antes, ¿eh? Listo. Va, ahora.
When we work with these kids, we have to have a couple of ideas in our minds that have to be very clear. Number one, we have to be patient. Number two, we have to keep the expectations as real as possible, because we are going to ask the kids to do something that they don't know or they don't control. And we have to go for very slow to make sure that the process is going in the right direction.
Qué bueno, qué bueno, qué bueno. Sigo, lo vuelvo aquí. Salta.
until you came. I was breathless when we first met.
In these following videos, you will see the same pattern. Always trying to work on the fundamentals, ready position, split steps, right positioning when you hit, balance and ball control. Always hitting the ball to the coach, always hitting the ball to a target.
Life was dull until you came. Now I see in color again. It could rain, I don't mind if it pours, 'cause I'm right next to you, to you. Come rain or come shine, I don't mind, 'cause I'm right next to you. It's true. See the lights on the floor, they sing from the heart. Watch them wave as they go, they dance for the dark. We're the kids of the night, 'cause we want it all. Hit the scene every time that we get.
It gives me much better results when I focus only on one shot and the movement around that shot that we see in the video. We do forehands, and when I see that they are doing fine, then I move on to the backhand side. If I don't see that they're doing the progress that I want, I don't do it. I don't switch to the other shot because I want to make sure that they do it correctly, and then I move on to the backhands. If I do the same procedure, same routine, we work on the fundamentals of the movement, and then when I see that they are doing fine on the backhand side, I start combining shots. I don't like rushing the process. I mentioned this before, but this is something I keep in mind all the time, and I want to share with you this same philosophy and same idea. If I get to the point when I see that the players are doing fine and they're doing what I want them to do in terms of shots and movement on both sides, I start combining them like I do in this video. I make sure that they control the ball. That's why I'm always close range. This is something you will see in a lot of videos because I do this all the time. I think the problem with feeding balls and they hit the ball too hard is that they disrupt the technique. So I want them to control every movement they make, and then the ball always has to go to a specific destination. Have a lot of kids in the same session, don't worry, don't make lines, make them play by themselves, make different groups, do stations, do tracks where they can move and they can work as a team. as a coach, one of the best feelings for me is to see that kids that not a long time ago came with a racket in their hands, not even knowing how to hold it, now they're becoming tennis players with nice and smooth swings, good movement, and loving the game, enjoying every session. To work with kids that are actually very skillful and they learn quickly, you have the possibility of doing something like this. I was teaching these kids in Germany for the first time and they understood everything they had to do. The drill went on really well. We initially started working on the forehand movement, but then they were doing so good that we added some more difficulties, the crossover steps, and then we also added some backhands in the exercise. And then the stability drill again. This is something I do a lot because we are working on the positioning when they hit. If they hit and they cannot control the balance, it's because they're not in good position.
And now you do it all together. Now you go back, go back, go back. Don't touch it. Go back. Do it again. Quick. Faster. Nice. Go back. Go.
And remember, always get in the same picture technique, content, and good sense of humor.
Flip. Flip and run. Come on, hit it. Again. And split. Oh, Luki. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move.
Kids don't quite do what you want them to do in certain exercises. For example, in this case, I was telling the kid to lean towards the ball when he was moving forward. He was unable to do it because he couldn't find the positioning. So I was trying to find a creative solution for that. That's why he was bumping into me. So I tried to transfer that into the shots, and he kind of understood the way he had to move, not pulling his shoulders back and moving forward. Now we're going to see a series of videos of this little girl. She's 8 years old, a tennis fanatic, very talented, as the previous kid we saw in the other videos. The problem that I see in Spain, and it might happen in other countries too, I'm sure, is that kids that with this level of coordination and talent are often moved to the baseline and play with yellow balls because they can hit. Obviously the kids want to do it because they believe they can hit the ball hard. But the problem with that is not only that the high bouncing ball affects their technique, but also the hard ball affects their wrists because they're playing with a 23 or 25-inch racket.
Muy bien. Sigue. Muy bien. Otra vez. Sigue. Vamos. Perfecto. Eso. Una más. Suave. Cambia de raqueta ahora. Una. Vamos.
And always working the same patterns as you see, working on the fundamentals, the movement, the swing, the footwork, the positioning, and the ball control. Always hitting the ball to me.
Muy bien. Sigue. Vamos. Eso. Dale. Ahora, tiras un paralelo. Tiras un paralelo.
Okay, I can understand that most of the coaches will find this very peculiar, but this is something I do very often. My kids are always working on continental grip in different types of drills. In this case, for example, the kid has to go always down the line, and I was going cross court, and the touch is very soft, but the ball is coming fast because of the high frequency of the shots. With these things, I work on concentration, soft touch, and the continental grip. This time is not following a pattern, it's just playing points in a very small area. So there's decision making, soft touch, ball control, patience, and good sense of humor sometimes, if you win the point.
Oh, te la has comido. 5-3.
6-4.
6-4. Coge la raqueta bien. Vamos. Línea. 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 Oh. Out. Vamos. Vamos.
Has dicho que no se vale tirar.
Lo estoy tirando fuerte. ¿Desde cuándo?
¿Y ahora?
Out.
No, hay de buena.
Out. Ahí está.
No.
Oh. A ver. Pitita.
Ya, pero es que las devuelves todas.
Pitita. Sí, preocúpate por hacer lo mismo, ¿va? No.
There are moments when you obviously are victorious, but there are other moments when you have to face reality and think that tennis is a difficult sport and you can always win.
No. Oh. Body position. Body position. ¡Ay! No te creo, no te creo, no te creo. Tira. Pasa por debajo. Vamos. Sigue.
This is something I recommend in case of a rain delay. You go to the gym, get a sponge ball so you don't break any mirrors, and then you set up a court. You can play matches, you can do drills of ball control and soft touch, and you have the kids active even if it's rain outside.
Vamos, golpe delante del cuerpo. Gira. Gira. Vamos, vamos. Vamos. Venga. Vamos. Sigue. Le toca. Vamos.
A very simple drill to introduce kids into slice forehands and backs. After warming up with continental grip, this is very simple for the kids. I can recommend this to you because the results are very positive. And I know I insist too much on this, but in this drill they're hitting 50 forehands, 4 backhands, and they're using only 1 ball. This is mainly because since they are little kids in red ball stage, they hit the ball to the coach, so they're used to that.
One, go back. Quickly.
Come on.
Short step, slice. Oh yeah. Come on, go back. Forehand.
And if she stops, you're gonna.
And short step. That's beautiful. And last one. Slice.
Yeah, but like.
One ladder. Short steps. Slice.
Bye!
Same girl again. Now after we saw the way she was getting introduced into the backhand slice, now she's getting more confident and having more precision. This is what we're working, trying to get the ball through the cones and hitting the ball to me.
Okay? Start 12 balls. Pick. Now.
And then as I mentioned before, if you see that the kids are doing fine with the work that you're doing in the moment, you start combining shots and then you test them to see if they can control the ball in different positions, in different situations on the court.
7, 8, 9, pick it up, and 3 more. 10, come on, pick it up. 11 and 12. One.
As an introduction to the net play, this is a fun decision-making game. Each color represents each side of the body, and bouncing balls represent ground strokes, and air balls represent volume.
And 7, and 8, and 8. Oh, that was good. And no! Haha, baby. Split, go. Go. Yes. And up. Catch it. Good. 1. Back. Up. Up. Forehand. No, up. Come. Back it now. Forehand volley, split, forehand volley, back in volley, split step, up, forehand, yeah, back in, up, and whoop, split,
Okay.
up.
very similar drill as the one we saw before with the kid catching the balls with two different colors of cones and balls. This time she has to hit forehands and backhand slice with bouncing balls, but she also has to hit volleys. The thing is, she doesn't know where the ball is coming, so she has to be prepared for any shot and make decisions. Coaches, we don't have to get tired of reviewing the simple fundamentals of the game. The movement, the preparation, the swing, the balance, everything has to be checked and reviewed all the time. If that happens, then kids will allow you to see something like this, and you should be proud of the work you're doing with the kids. Here's a special tip for you to teach the kids how to do something special like a drop volley. You follow these progressions, use a beanbag, use the stop volley, and then eventually soft touch on the volley, and the kids will be able to hit a special shot like that. Tactical decisions. This is a drill that we do with the kids, that you keep the rally going in the middle of the court, in between the cones, but as soon as the ball goes outside the cones, the kid has to hit the ball cross court to play defense. Okay, let's talk about progressions on the serve now. This is a very important moment for the kids. I don't like the idea of letting the kids hit with the forehand grip just to get the ball in play. I like doing the progressions on the continental grip as we saw in the previous videos, and we use it also for the serve. Bouncing the ball down with continental grip allows the kids to practice the pronation, and then we break up the serve in different parts and we put it in practice. We don't have to rush to do the whole process until they get to the moment where they control every part. If the toss is good, if the position of the racket is good, and then eventually they do the full swing, only if they can control it. happy to present you because I don't see it anywhere. It's very difficult to find coaches working on the progressions on the return of serve. Sometimes I hear coaches say, no, we practice the returns. When the kids are serving, some others are returning. Yeah, but they don't practice the real way of catching or intercepting the ball with the progressions that we do here. You do the split, you move forward, you try to catch the ball in front of you, try to make short to swing, and then you practice to the point when they can put it in play and they attack with the return and the second ball.
Dale, dale. Pega. Sepárate de la bola, sepárate y tira. Muy bien. Dale, pega, pega. Ahora vuelve, sepárate. No pares. Tú no puedes parar en ningún momento. Dale, pégale. Vuelve, vuelve, vuelve. Ahora, ataca esta, dale, atácala. Muy bien. Tira, vuelve, tira, tira, tira. Buena, ataca, ataca, ataca.
Again. Martin is so crazy. Because he did it 2 times.
Ready?
Okay, we're coming to the end of the presentation and I want to show you something that is outside the box. And I mean by this, trying to show you things that you can do in order to avoid the routine. Sometimes when you don't have courts because all the courts are taken or because it's rain and the courts are not able to be used, you have to be creative and find solutions for that. So what do? You try to work on the skills, try to work on decision making, try to have fun also with the kids, obviously, but you work on the mechanics, work on the decision making, work on the skills, on the soft touch. These things are going to make your players much more able to adjust to any different situations and not just following the simple routines of hitting forehands and backhands all the time.
¡Pam!
Patatero. He's the best player in the university. Because he missed 2 shots when I hit down the line.
This is fun, right? Okay, challenge your kids and they will surprise you. We don't allow them to be creative because we always tell them what to do. We always do the same routines and drills and they have to follow instructions. But believe me, let them be creative and they will surprise you.
Ready position, Luki. Ready position. Finish the swing. Finish the swing. ¡Vamos! Move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. Come up, in it.
Thank you for following this presentation. Thank you again, Tennis Australia, for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it and I'm happy that you invited me to be part of this. I enjoy my work and I love sharing ideas with coaches. So if you want to reach me, there are many platforms on social media where you can send me a message and I'll be happy to exchange ideas with you. Also, I want to say that I have a book called Kids Tennis Mini Players. all the profits from the selling of the book are going straight to Tennis Aid, my association and my non-profit association that helps coaches and players around the world. So far, we've hit around 70 countries, and by buying the book, you will be helping that cause. In the book, you can find not only the red, orange, green, and yellow stages, you can also find help for adults groups or tennis for people with disabilities and some idea how to promote your club. Thank you again. If you want to reach me, you can send me a message. I'll be happy to talk to you about tennis because this is what we do and what we love. Thank you all.